Hey guys, Pilcrow here, and today we will be ranking every single team that has ever existed in Inanimate Insanity. Remember to like and subscribe, and let's start the video. So let's start with the Season 1 teams, and the first one we'll be talking about is Team Epic. This team consists of Knife, Marshmallow, Lightbulb, Paintbrush, Nickel, Apple, Baseball, and lastly, Paper. Now, I'm going to give this team a 9 out of 10 because it feels like a bit of an underdog team. It lost several times in the earlier episodes, and by the time Apple joined, it only had 3 contestants left. The trio thing was always really fun to watch, and the Nicolay joke was also extremely iconic to the show. Knife and Marshmallow's interactions were always extremely funny and kind of sad because usually Knife is killing Marshmallow. But yeah, this team just gives underdogs energy. 9 out of 10 again. Now for the other team, Team Chicken Leg, I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. This team had 3 really fun groups. The first group was the OJ, Bommy, and Balloon Alliance. The second was Pickle and Taco, and the third was Soap and Pepper. The only reason why this team didn't score as high as Team Epic was because I found Balloon to be really annoying. In fact, him being bossy was literally the start of his entire arc, which spanned 3 seasons. And honestly, I never really found Bommy too interesting. Like, he's not bad, but he's not great either. So I think this team gets a deserving 8 out of 10. Still great, but not as good as Team Epic. Now on to Season 2, let's discuss the Bright Lights, who consist of Paintbrush, Lightbulb, Test Tube, Fan, Cherries, Tissues, Yin Yang, Apple, and Marshmallow. Now honestly, I really like both the teams in Inanimate Insanity Season 2. They both ended up being really interesting in the long run. Test Tube and Fan were some of the most important characters in the season, even though they didn't make it to the final 4. Lightbulb and Paintbrush dynamic was really fun to watch, and was easily a highlight for this team. And we can't forget Apple and Marshmallow, right? I mean, Marshmallow leaving was a huge part of the season, and Yin Yang was always fun to add chaos. I'll still never forget that the Cherries sent Marshmallow to Mars, which started the egg plot, which was one of the biggest plots of the season, and honestly the entire show. So this team gets a 9.5 out of 10. It doesn't get a perfect 10 out of 10 because of the next team, the Grand Slams, who, spoiler alert, get a 10 out of 10. This team consists of Balloon, Nickel, Suitcase, Baseball, Soap, Microphone, Cheese, Trophy, Knife, and Box. Now this team literally was the most important team in all of Inanimate Insanity, and it's not even close. Almost every single member on this team had a huge moment in the show. I'll never forget when they first did contestant vote and Nickel and Balloon both got eliminated at the same time, being one of the most dramatic parts of the season. Suitcase was obviously extremely important. I mean, her and Knife were literally the finalists of the entire show, not to mention that Suitcase was part of the Balloon, Nickel, and Baseball arc. Trophy and Knife had a short interaction with Blackmail, and it led to Knife gaining more confidence. Soap and Cheesy were also extremely funny characters, and Box, yeah, she had a major role at the end of the season. So for all those reasons, and more, this team gets a well-deserved 10 out of 10. Good job, the Grand Slams. Now, let's go to the least liked season of the show, Season 3. And honestly, I like all teams here. Now, something important to mention is that we will be splitting up the Thinkers and the Pinkers into 2 groups, before Team Swap and after Team Swap. This is because they're basically 2 different teams with different members, so I think it's fair to consider them as such. Now, let's start with the Sinkers. This team consists of Nickel, Balloon, Life Ring, Tea Kettle, Blueberry, and Box. Again. Like, I'm sorry, before we discuss this team, why did anyone vote Box? In case you didn't know, all the contestants that returned were decided in a viewer vote. I don't see why people wanted to bring Box back, considering at this point, they were literally just a box. They didn't have any lines or anything like that. But anyways, I really like this team. It's again another underdog team, but with more Nickel and Balloon focus. Box betraying Nickel and Balloon was kind of funny to see, and was one of the few good Box moments before she gained limbs. Tea Kettle trying to gain alliance members by making them food was also hilarious, and Life Ring had his good moments. Of course, this team isn't too strong, since it's heavily focused on Balloon and Nickel. The other teammates just get eliminated. Blueberry did come back for one episode, but he was completely different at that point. So, while I do like this team, I can't give it higher than a 7 out of 10, unfortunately. Now on to the Thinkers. This team consists of OJ, Paintbrush, Yin Yang, Silver Spoon, Candle, and The Floor. Now, I really like this team, and it's good the writers did too, considering that they basically got their own episode in episode 4. Everyone on this team is really interesting. OJ being a temporary leader while he was in, Candle and Silver Spoon, who literally nearly died because they fell in a volcano, and Candle had to use her inner flame to save them. The Floor was hilarious as a concept, but very well done by the writers. The fact that he would sneak up on opposing teams and see what they were doing and plotting was extremely useful to the team, and I always found it funny. And Yin Yang was always amazing to watch, as per usual. He was funny. So I give this team a deserving 8 out of 10. Now on to the last Phase 1 team, the Pinkers, and yeah, this team was pretty good. This team consists of Test Tube, Fan, Cabby, Goo, Clover, and Bot. But at this time, Bot was Bo, so I'll just be calling her Bo for now. Now, this team had a lot of tension between Test Tube, Fan, and Cabby because Cabby was basically spying on them and knew way too much information, which was the main plot point for this team. However, the other 3 members weren't bad either. Goo and Bo had a cheer factory, and they would work together in challenges, and they were always fun to watch. Clover, with her luck, was amazing, especially with her dynamic with Nickel, especially towards the end. Because of this and more, I give this team a 9 out of 10. Good job, Pinkers. Now let's get on to the Phase 2 teams. Let's start with the new Pinkers. This team consists of Test Tube, Bot, Silver Spoon, Paintbrush, Cabby, and Balloon. And let me just give this team a 10 out of 10. Literally every single person on this team was important, or an extremely good addition to the team. Now let's start with the obvious. There was the whole Bot situation where Bot discovers that she's a robot, and she's shocked because she thought she was Bo. And she was mad at Test Tube for, creating a new version of a person that's dead. And this was a big plot point for the entire season. Actually, no, it is the biggest plot point of the entire season. But this team has more than just that. Silver Spoon and Paintbrush's dynamic was really funny and was definitely a highlight for this team. Balloon obviously still had the whole Nickel thing going on. And Test Tube betraying Cabby like that was crazy, but honestly understandable. The things Cabby was saying in her files about the others were kind of wild. But yeah, this whole team was amazing. Perfect. So just one last thing, the scene where Silver Spoon falls into the mile-high pie was always really funny to me. So yeah, this team gets a 10 out of 10. As for the new Thinkers, I can't say the same. Candle was important in the Bot situation, but not in the whole team. This team, to be honest, kinda feels like a bunch of misfits. I mean, sure, Yin Yang was around, but he wasn't as fun as usual. And everyone else just didn't really work in my opinion. So because of this, the team gets a 6. I mean, sure, Clover and Nickel was fun, but not enough to save the entire team. And now, on to the most recent season, Season 4. Let's start with Circumspect, which is actually not a fan favorite team according to my polls. And I'm going to give Team Circumspect a 7 out of 10. It's literally just 2 duos plus Cammy, which might seem good, but honestly, the 2 duos don't really work together that much from what I've seen so far. And Cammy, one of my favorites in the entire season, is just being completely excluded from the team. I get it that he's sometimes annoying, but come on. The 2 duos individually, Candle and Cheesy, and Pepper and Magnet, are good, but as a whole team, they don't really work together that well. So for those reasons, I'm going to be giving them a 7 out of 10. Now on to Thematic Cats, and this team is really interesting. This team consists of Microphone, Teddy, Taco, Soap, Cherries, and Tea Kettle. This team cooperates way more than Circumspect, and it honestly has a fun alliance between Soap, Microphone, and Taco. Teddy and Taco talking about, Teddy losing her best friend, Belle, was also a highlight for this team for me. It doesn't have a lot of arguments and tension, but it could with Soap and Tea Kettle playing more ruthlessly, annoying some of the others. So for those reasons, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's not the greatest right now, but it could easily be with slight improvements. And remember, we all know Teddy's getting an arc. Now on to Go Big or Be Last. This team consists of Life Ring, Trophy, Box, Bonesaw, Goo, and Spiky. This team is clearly trying to be the tough team, and they're doing a pretty good job at that. I didn't like this team all that much, but episode 5 completely changed my view on them. Seeing different parts of the group working together, or not in the case of Trophy stalling his group, was really interesting to see. Also, Box and Life Ring work surprisingly well together. I believe this team will get closer over time, considering that Trophy and Goo are now on good terms with each other now. But we all know the major dynamic on this team is Box and Trophy. They've come a long way considering that Box was smashed by Trophy during his elimination in Season 2. So for all those reasons, and the fact that they can still improve further, this team gets a 9 out of 10. Well deserved, and I hope this team continues to improve in the future. Now for the very last team I want to discuss, Heavy Metal Popstars, this one is very interesting. This team consists of Lightbulb, Starfruit, Tapey, Poppy, Paper, and Metag. The thing with this team though, is that they've lost 3 times in a row. And honestly, some of the members like Lightbulb and Starfruit aren't that interesting. I mean, Lightbulb's good and all, but she shouldn't have even been in the season to begin with. If she was just going to be used as a plot device for Tapey, literally any other contestant could have done that. However, to be fair, Jack said that she was like a social magnet in episode 5, which is only something that she and a few others have been able to pull off, so maybe that was something that only she could pull off. There's obviously the whole Poppy, Paper, and Metag thing, which is obviously a noble part of this team. I mean, their first elimination was the reason why Fan is in the hospital right now, and it's the only reason why we got to see Steve Cobb's wife, I think? I'm still not sure about that completely. And we can't forget about the fact that Tapey is about to have a huge manipulative arc. So while this team does have its ups and downs and a lot of losses, it's not a bad team by any means, so it gets an 8 out of 10. Well deserved. Anyways, wow, that was way longer than I expected. But if you like it, please like and subscribe, and watch my other videos. See you next time, and have a good one. Bye.